All right, it looks like we are officially live. Hello, everyone. It has been a little minute since we had an interview by moi. My name is Kristen, aka Blurred Sunday. If you have not seen me before, fairly new, probably the second newest member to the group of Blurred Over as of 4 or 5 months ago. And so I'm really happy to have this platform and be on this platform talking to you all today. And I have an amazing, amazing guest, a man with, I like to say he has so many roles behind his name: father, blurred, um, family man, husband, podcaster, manga reader, all of that, all of that. So if that wasn't like the full introduction that you like to give, I know I gave like that little portion, but I'm gonna have you introduce yourself to Blurred Over.
Yeah. So what's up, everybody? Thank you for the awesome introduction. As Kristen just said, I am Robert, aka Father of Vash, aka Dad Needs to Talk. As by my name, Dad Needs to Talk, I am a father of five, three boys, twin girls.
Oh,
And like I just mentioned, one of my online monikers is Father of Vash. That is very literal. My 4-year-old, soon to be 5-year-old son is actually named Vash after Vash the Stampede from the series Trigon. So
oh, I love
yes,
it! Oh my
yes, yes, yes,
god! Wow!
yes. So I don't think I have my. Actually, I think I might do. Yeah, for those who might not remember, Trigon, Vash the Stampede. This is the character my son is named after. But yeah,
Wow.
so I do wear many a hat. I am a husband. Like I said, I'm a father of five. I am a podcaster. I am a IT professional. Uh, and probably some other stuff in between. But yeah, so I wear many hats. I stay busy a lot.
Yes.
Yes.
I literally learned more on the spot than I thought. Like, cause when, like, for those of you who don't know, Dad Needs to Talk podcast and I have been following each other for a minute. Like, it feels like since the beginning of like our Instagram days. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know when exactly you started, but I started December of 2020. And I think within like the first 3 to 6 months, like somehow we became a part of the same network. Or
Hmm.
oh no, I think it was the
Manga
Blurred
brownies.
Appreciation Monday. That's how we got
Yes.
connected.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So y'all follow the hashtag on Instagram, Blurred Appreciation Monday. But
Yes.
and you'll see him along with many other great black artists, creators of all kinds.
Yes.
Now, what I was about to start saying is we finally met in person. And it's
Yes.
like such a surreal feeling when you say, oh my gosh, you're a real person. Like, oh
Yeah.
my goodness. And when you started talking, like, for some reason, I had always thought, like, maybe what other people thought. It's like, okay, like, what is that from? Like, Father of Vash. Like, it sounds like a cool title or something. And when I met you and you were talking about your son, Vash, and I was like, oh, this is very literal.
Yes.
And the fact that the background behind it is related to an anime, I was like, I want to cry. Like I didn't,
Yes.
cause like okay, y'all don't get on me. I have, I have not seen Trigun like in full. I've seen some of it, but I haven't
Yeah.
seen all of it. And it's just like, why did I almost just cry right now? Like what, man?
Yes. Yeah. It is always funny. Anytime I have to, or anytime I explain that part, because I like I said, I have to tell people that it's not like the typical where people are like, oh, that character, that's my son, that's my baby, that's my daughter. It is like, no, that is literally my human child. Who, if y'all have watched, or if y'all ever watch or listen to any of my podcast episodes, reviews, or whatever, especially the podcast episodes, he pops up maybe at least once per episode. Because I always tell people anytime I'm recording, if y'all see me look this direction for too long, that usually means that he is off to the side, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, am I gonna have to pause my recording, or is this gonna be a quick in and out situation? But uh, but yeah, he is very real, and it is still sometimes very surreal at the fact that I got a chance to name my child after one of my favorite series and stuff because and I feel like for one, my wife, she's also a big nerd and stuff like me, so that kind of
Yes.
helped with when I presented like, hey, if we ever have a son, or when we found out we were having a son, um, and I was like, hey, I would like to name him this. I didn't get any pushback or whatever because, like I said, I feel like I probably was talking about it long before we were even expecting him or expecting a child. Period. So it was like, hey, someday maybe I would love to use this name. Though small side story,
We love the side stories.
there is a potential alternate universe to where he almost got named Jiren from Dragon Ball Super. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, because I've always been a Dragon Ball fan since I was a little kid back in the '90s, and so Dragon Ball Super was going on during the year of when my wife was expecting him or whatever, and literally in the weeks like the month or so before he was born, that was during the Goku versus Jiren fight. So we
Mm,
are talking about the height of hype around Dragon Ball like we haven't seen in decades. And I'll never forget, I never let her live it down. She would always joking because it was every Saturday night, I'm in front of the TV, I'm watching my Dragon Ball Super. And
yes.
so it started off where she'd be like, oh, you watching your Dragon Ball? And she'd be kind of giggling, making fun of me, whatever. Then slowly over the weeks, over the months, I would kind of catch out the corner of my eye, looking over at my TV. Then she's all, ooh, what's going on?
Exactly.
And then it turned to her sitting there with me every week watching. And then leading up to like I said, like right when he was about to be born or whatever, she was like, but what if we name him Jaren? And I'm like, no, ma'am. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I'll compromise and maybe a middle name, but I'm like, first name is gonna be Vash. If he wants, you want to have to do the middle name, whatever. We didn't, by the way, but
Oh,
it, it, it's, it's
cool.
it's 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 just funny that it almost happened. But I gave him my anime first name. I gave him a normal middle name, just in case it feels like what, if he grows up and he, Lord forbid, he hates anime or
Oh
manga.
no, disown. Disown.
I'm like, here's your regular name that you can use. But yeah, but I love it. And like I said, it is just surreal that the fact of anytime I'm like, Vash, come here, Vash, stop running. And I'm like,
Oh,
man, I got to do that. So, but my
dang.
little tangent.
That is so cool. Like literally, look, babe, if you listening right now, he probably is. Look, I'm just saying, we gonna bring that up. Let's start brainstorming. Like, daughter might be named Kagome. I don't know. I might have Sashomaru. I don't know. Well, that is so beautiful. So,
Yes,
like
yes,
you
yes.
said, you're both, you and your wife are both into anime, big blurs and stuff like that. Is that kind of
Yeah.
like how you all met and came together? Like, what's the story behind you all starting point?
Well, that the us finding out about the common nerdum, that kind of came a little bit after we started talking, because we met online,
Oh,
on
okay.
online dating app and stuff whatever years ago.
It works, y'all.
Yeah,
Product.
it definitely does, but it really wasn't until I'm trying to think. So one of our first big dates we went on. I can't remember what movie we were going to see, but we ended up getting there early, so we had a little bit of time to kill, before the movie. And so there was a comic book store nearby. So I was like, hey, do you mind if we go in here and look at some stuff, whatever? And she was like, cool. She was like, yeah, of course. So we go in there, I go my way looking at stuff, she go her way looking at stuff, whatever. And then out of nowhere, I hear this kind of like excited squeal, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? And I believe she was looking at something Sailor Moon related. And so I was like, wait, you into this? She was like, heck yeah. And that was kind of the moment when I was like, you know, rope you in.
Like,
And
okay, you're
stuff.
a keeper. You're a keeper.
Yes. And
Oh,
so that's kind of what initially sparked that level of the connection. And then it just kind of just took off from there, because she's also a super huge gamer as well.
oh,
uh
we love it. We love it.
yes.
Do y'all play games like together, like, or are y'all like butting heads? Like, how is that?
We are kind of opposites in some aspects. Like we have some crossover with certain things that we both enjoy, but in general, I'm more of a single player, story focused player, and she is super heavy on the online hardcore multiplayer stuff. And so,
Really? Huh.
yes, and
Okay.
that was the other sign of just like, okay, this ain't no, oh, I just kind of dabble and stuff, whatever. I never forget one day I went to visit her, one day or whatever. And so when she answered the door, she had on her headset and stuff, whatever. And she's like, hey, hold on, I'm in the middle of a match. So I'm like, okay. So,
Oh,
I
you
just, yeah.
serious?
So I just walk in or whatever. I'm like, okay, okay, yes, you're in a match or whatever. So, I'm sitting there and I'm watching or whatever. She full at the time. This was back when she was like super heavy on Call of Duty. So she's full. She has a squad, mainly an all female squad that she
What?
rolls with. They play hardcore, so single bullet, single kill, hardcore on Call of Duty, all that stuff, whatever. And I see she's top of the leaderboards, and I'm like, okay, you were not joking when you say that you were real deal into this, whatever. And so, like, like when people meet her in general, she seems so sweet, so innocent. But there are times when she is playing while I'm like recording or whatever, and she be foul mouth, everything. I'd be like, hey, think of the children.
Be
We
like,
got children in the house
right.
and stuff. And so, but yeah, she's super hardcore on the multiplayer for, and like she runs Apex pretty much every day. So,
Wow.
but yeah, that was kind of the other thing that kind of helped seal the deal with our shared nerdom.
Oh.
And then yeah, it just kind of just went from there. And we also bonded over Attack on Titan 2, because she also, I think that she had heard of it, but she hadn't really watched it. And
Uh-oh.
so I got her to watch it.
End of the therapy.
And ever since then, over the years, every Sunday we together in front of the TV watching the new episodes and stuff. So yeah, so we deep in it.
Dang. You know what? I don't know if this was like, I don't know. I guess it's not common to expect a woman to be into like, I don't know. I just expect it to be reversed. Like Call of Duty for guys and like story mode stuff for girl. I never even like thought about who all enjoys that. I probably like know one creator on YouTube who's like into any and every type of game.
Hmm.
But you're gonna have to, I don't know if she makes content or stream. You're gonna have to drop the info on her, something.
She doesn't currently. Some years back she was streaming super
Oh,
heavy, especially back when shoot, I can't think of it because the service is shut down now. But it was the streaming service that Xbox was doing exclusively, whatever. I can't remember what the name of it was. Um,
I
but
don't have a clue.
yeah, but basically, some years back, Xbox had a streaming competitor to Twitch that they had or whatever. A lot of people was on it, so she was streaming through that. Um, like I said, I can't remember what the name of it was. But I'll probably find it at some point. But Mixer, that's what it was. It was called Mixer.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, but unfortunately they shut it down 2020. So it went from 2016 to
Dang.
2020.
Oh,
So but yeah, she was streaming on that pretty heavy for a while, but afterwards she just never she didn't really do it anymore whatever from there. So but
hmm.
yeah.
Dang, that's so. Why are you are trying to make me emotional? Shed these real thug tears on here. Oh, I'm from Memphis. Those all these real thug tears about to come. But that is so beautiful. Like that's it's amazing to have that in common because you never know. Like
Hmm.
you, you hear so much about the typical like why are you on those games? Grow up. It's like no, let's play together. I'm gonna beat you. Like
Yeah, yeah, that has definitely been a thing that I've appreciated over the years is that we both have that understanding that we both, love and enjoy that. And so, I know I've heard so many times from people, who either, one person or the other are big into whatever nerdy thing or whatever, and then, they have a kid and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I can't enjoy this hobby no more, whatever. We're not like that. Like we already knew from jump. It was like when Vash was born, it was like ain't nothing gonna change. It was like hey when a big game came out that she knew I was excited about or whatever. She was like hey go pick up your game.
hey,
I'll take care of the kids or whatever so you can enjoy your game, and vice versa. So we kind of we've always kind of had that balance and stuff, whatever. So, and she knows whenever I'm, doing the podcasting and stuff, whatever, she tries to, we schedule stuff around, that stuff is like, hey, okay, hey, today I have, I'm having a guest on, or I'm a guest on something, or whatever, and so that way, we make sure, all the stuff with the kids is, still gonna be rolling with, somebody got a practice or a game or tournament or whatever and stuff so which like which that part of things I don't know if you probably will get to it at some point but that was another part of the busy equation I didn't even touch on aside from me having all these kids um
yeah.
for sure the three oldest ones are active in sports all year round
Mm-hmm.
so
I was like, that's quite the balance.
yes, so I got a couple of them in AAU basketball, and then my oldest daughter, she's in AAU track. We just got back from she went to state for the third time, which is weird to say, and she's already been to state three times, and she's only 12.
What?
Which me, I'm 32. I never even saw state once in my life.
Oh
And the
wow.
fact that I'm like, man, you're 12 and you've already been three times.
That's
you
you
know,
got a track star on your hands.
Yeah, she is a beast in track, and my oldest son, he is a monster at basketball,
Wow.
and stuff, whatever. So it's this was something I was kind of saying online earlier. Sometimes I have to make sure that I don't forget to enjoy the moment, because not to say like I'm of course bragging and stuff, whatever, but at the same time, it's like my kids, especially my, the older ones, they've been doing this, like I said, like my oldest ones, they're 12 and 13. They've been competing since they were 5, 6 years old. And
Mhm.
so I've seen them compete at a consistent level for so many years that it's just second nature to me or whatever. But when like somebody new comes around, somebody that's never seen them do what they do, they're like, "Oh my god!" Da, 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 da. And then I have to make sure that like I said, that I kind of keep that in focus. That I'm like, okay, you know what? I do. I be on them. I be. I'm a tough dad coach, but
I'm sure.
I have to make sure that I do also, make sure I'm giving them their flowers as well, that it's like okay yeah you didn't win the overall state competition but it's like you were freaking top 20 out of the
Right.
whole state of Texas. It's like that is freaking wild,
Mhm.
to think about that. So, but yeah, but shout out to all my fellow parents out there. Like I said, parents in general, and especially parents that have child athletes and stuff. So, because it's a busy life.
Yes, I was literally that was about to be like what I was gonna transition into next, like, because like we were just having a conversation about like going to cons and having that experience, and
Hmm.
one day that's what I want to do. I see families like coming to conventions and everything and having all this fun. I was like, oh, I can't wait to bring my babies in. You will be into this, like.
Yeah, yeah,
Like to do all of that, like how are you able to balance everything? Do you go to like a certain number of cons per year? Do you plan them out with your family, like maybe have people plan out a trip to Disney World? Is it like that
yeah.
extreme? Like how is that?
So me and the con life and stuff, whatever. I'm actually fairly new to it. I actually didn't go to my first convention until October of last year.
Wow,
Uh,
really?
yeah. Um, which in hindsight, I'm like, man, I should have been doing this, especially because if I didn't say it or say it already, whatever. I live in the Dallas Fort Worth metroplex up here in Texas, and so there's conventions all the freaking
Yeah.
time, and the fact that I'm just not going to them or whatever. Like I have friends who have traveled hours and hours away that have come and gone many times over the years, and they've been like Rob, hey, are you going to be at so and so con or whatever? And I don't even be thinking about it or whatever because it's just like, oh no, I didn't even think about it or whatever. And they're like, dude, if I lived up there, I'd be going to everything. And
Yes.
so honestly, I feel like because of me doing the podcast and stuff, that's kind of a motivator to kind of help me push to get out there and to be more active in the community and stuff. Because honestly, it was actually my wife that got me to go to my first one last year. Because
Yes. I love her. I love her.
yeah, she has surprised me last fall with a weekend pass to actually, no. It might have been a 1 day pass. Regardless of what it was, she got me a pass to it was Anime Dallas. Um like I said, that was I think that was like October-ish. But yeah, she was like, hey, surprise, here you go. And so, of course, I'm being nervous. I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, hey, just go, have a good time. I got the house, da 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 da. And so I went, and I am super happy that I did, because it was just a fun experience. Because that convention is, I think this is maybe only its, well, I think the one I went to last year, I think that might have been its third year, maybe.
Really?
So it's still a fairly new convention, which actually the guy who put the convention together, I can't remember what his actual name is, but he is a voice actor. Um, who hold on, I'm actually I gotta give this guy his props.
I was
Um,
looking up Anime Dallas right now. I was like, "Ooh, what is this?"
so let me see. Do. What is his name? I'll look for it, but basically, okay, John Swayze, that's his name. So John Swayze,
I was
if
like,
you
"That's a fancy name."
so if you do not know, this guy has a legendary voice actor resume. I'm gonna read off just a few of his highlights. He is All for One from My Hero Academia. He is Crocodile from One Piece. He is. Let me make sure I get it right. Do 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 do. Come on, make sure I get the right one. I believe he is Hohenheim from Full Metal Alchemist.
What?
Yes.
Oh, you
So,
you
and like I said, those are just some of his most notable roles over the years. But oh, Laura Death from Soul Eater, um, and
Yeah.
so many more. But yeah, like I said, I didn't know that until, like I said, I went to the convention and I was going to some of the panels or whatever, and there was one panel that they did. There was a villains of anime voice actor panel,
Ooh.
and so the funny thing is that in this same room, I believe one of the ladies there, I believe she was as Death from
That's right.
Akame got killed.
I wish they had.
The
I was like, ooh.
Yeah, she so for Akame got killed, she's the blue haired, kind of like
Oh,
general
I've seen her
lady.
character.
Yeah, but so he was in this panel or whatever. It was him, and then also the guy that does father in Full Metal Alchemist. So it had both people
What?
in the same panel
Oh,
or whatever. But yeah, when he introduced himself or whatever, he was like, they were like, oh yeah, this is the guy who created this convention, and then he started naming some of his roles. I'm like, this guy has voiced some of my favorite villains
dang, that is so
ever.
crazy.
But yeah, that was my first convention I went to last year, and like I said, it was super awesome. I'm super happy I went to, just to kind of, because like I said, with it being still kind of fairly new, it was still kind of fairly small. So it wasn't super overwhelming. It was a nice, manageable size
Mm.
to go to. And then from there, I went to another kind of smaller, like super tiny one, that was called, and this wasn't even really a full blown convention, but it was an event called DFW Podcast Fest, where
Oh,
it was a bunch of podcasters that are here within the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex,
wow.
and so that was kind of another cool thing. Like I said, very small and intimate, to kind of know, like, hey, there are so many other people in the area that are doing this stuff. And then the biggest one,
I was like,
I the biggest one I went to, but before we even get to DreamCon, I went to Fan Expo Dallas, and that was
whew.
in June. It was on Father's Day, because, and this is weird. Like I said, that was technically my second ever full convention. I got to do my first panel there as well.
Okay.
So that was super wild. That I got
Great.
to Thank you, that I got to do that, and the fact of, like I said, it's I'm Dad Needs to Talk, and they scheduled my panel for Father's Day, was super dope and stuff. And then of course DreamCon, a couple weekends ago, where me and you got to meet, and got to meet some of the people in the community. But yeah, I am still so new to all of this, whatever. And I do want to get to the point to where it can be more of a family affair and stuff. Like I said, now that I've kind of gone to a couple and stuff, and kind of got my feet wet,
Mm.
I definitely want to bring more of my family, more of my kids and stuff with me. Now, my wife and my youngest son Vash, they did get to come to Fan Expo Dallas, because they came to support me at the panel. And then afterwards, we kind of walked around together for maybe like a good couple of hours and stuff. And I've you know uh, anybody that's interested, or whatever, on my Instagram page, I have some pictures and videos and stuff, whatever, from that, that we took there, whatever. So that was just very dope to get to have that experience with some of my family and stuff here with me. So, but yeah, so long ramble of me saying I'm new to
Oh no,
this.
you're free. You're free to say however much you like.
But yeah, so still new to all this, but uh, it I'll say it has been one heck of a first year. you
I
know.
still can't believe like you just started last year because I don't know when it. I think it was 2018 because I've been going to DreamCon since the very
Mm,
beginning, and the first two are way different from the last two. Like different venue,
Yeah.
everything. The growth is crazy.
Yeah.
And in 2018, I was like, dang, like Texas is so huge. I felt like I was this close to just moving. I was like, dang, everybody's moving to Texas. Everything is in Texas. Like so many people, because I went by myself the first 2 years. I go to conventions by myself kind of a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
But like I went by myself the first 2 years. I got to know so many people there, and they were all
Hmm.
either in Texas or moving to Texas. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, this is where I need to be. There are so many conventions. I'm jealous. Like
Yeah.
there's so much there. But
Yes.
I'm just like, oh well, Birmingham was where I've been the past, like, I don't think I've even said it, but I'm in Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah.
And I've been here the past almost 5 years. And it's so central to like everywhere that I go. It's close to like my mentors that I have in
Okay.
St. Lucia, hometown in Memphis, Atlanta's right there. So it's kind of easy to move around for the
Yeah.
most part. And Texas DFW is easy to fly into. So I'm just like, okay, that's a balance.
Yeah.
Almost there.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually know a few people that are actually out in your neck of the woods. Shout out
Oh, really?
to Cat and Fox from Solar Scouts podcast. They're all out there. I don't know if they're in Birmingham as well. I know for sure they're in Alabama. They might be in Birmingham too. But yeah, but shout out to them. And like I said, some other people that I know of that are uh in the area and stuff too. So but yeah, it is it feels like it feels like every at least every month, if not more, I'm finding out there's so many people here in Texas, here in the DFW area, uh, and stuff. So because it's just like, some of it, we just found out just through natural conversation. Sometimes it's because, I might see somebody mention or talk about on their podcast, man, I was stuck in traffic on 635 this morning or da 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 da. And I'm like, wait, 635? I drive on 635, and stuff like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it is so many other, like you said, podcasters, just artists, just content creators, period, all over the place. And you'd be surprised, you might be next to somebody in the grocery store, and they also a podcaster
Everybody's
or
there.
something.
Mm-hmm. Everybody is literally there. But y'all can have the traffic. Y'all can have it. I couldn't. I had enough of that. I just deal with it for a few days and I'm back here. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, yeah. It took me some adjusting because I'm from a small country town down in deep southeast Texas, so it was like growing up in the slow country life. I'm no not no family vehicle. I'm walking everywhere all over town or whatever. Everybody
I
knows
thought you were in
everybody.
Mexico.
No, not quite. My little town. For those some of y'all may or may not know this name. Some for good reasons, some for bad reasons.
Oh,
But I'm from a small town in Texas called Jasper, Texas. If you know, you know.
oh.
Yeah. If you're not familiar, after this episode, Google it. You either gonna find out some cool stuff about some well known athletes from the town, or you're gonna find out some very some very bad stuff that put small Jasper on on the international map
Oh
back in the 90s. So uh, so yeah, so going from that little town to uh the big city, was definitely a big shift. It was a long time before I got on the freeway. I would just take the service road. I don't care how many red lights I got to go through to get where I'm gonna go through. Hey, I feel safe.
look, right. It's better than crossing 10 lanes of traffic.
Yes,
They're all
yes,
full either way. It don't matter how many lanes they build. It doesn't matter.
yes. But now I'll be getting on the highway, doing, safely doing 80 miles per hour. It's like,
One
up.
tell, one tell.
It's like, oh, baby girl got practice, need to get there or whatever, or we got a tournament or whatever. So yeah, I'll be I that I do so much driving and stuff when I'm not at work that I am happy with driving, even though I have a commute to work. I am happy being stationary because I there was an opportunity that came up a while back for me to transition to being more of a field IT tech, traveling to the different locations or whatever. But I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm like, I do enough driving when I'm not at work to where I'm like, hey, I'll do my commute to work, sit here for my 8 hours, drive home, and then do all my driving after hours.
Hey, I feel you on that. You got to bounce it out somehow. You might as
Yes.
well have a what's that driving license for truckers? CDL. You might as well.
I
Oh,
need to.
how you doing?
I need to. So
But so to talk about, because I see the collection behind you, so we definitely got to talk about it. So as far as like your podcasting journey and the vast amount of manga that I see you talking about and picking up and all that stuff, like let's dig a little deeper into that. So like how long have you been podcasting for, and how do you know which types of manga to choose? Like, what is it about which ones that you choose that stand out?
yeah, so sorry, my daughter just tried to call me. Uh uh so podcasting, so I've only been doing it for a year and a half now. I started in March, yeah, March of 2021. So still I'm still a baby in the game. Uh Lord, this girl. Sorry. Uh
She wants to join in on the fun.
I know. I know. See, cause my kids are not here. They are at their great grandmother's house for a little bit of a end of summer break. So
Wow.
normally if they hear, I tell everybody, hey, I'm about to record. Uh, do not disturb. But since they are not here, hold on. Sorry,
Oh,
I'm
you're
just
good. You never know.
texting her. I'm podcasting. Uh, but yeah, so I've been doing it for a little over a year. Um, it's something I kind of thought about doing for a while, but just never really had like that push to like really start and do it or whatever. Without getting to all the sappy details and stuff, whatever. Long story short, I had some very big and personal family losses that happened at the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, with my older sister and my mother. And so it kind of, I kind of reached a point where I'm like, okay, I need some type of outlet or something or whatever to kind of like to talk and to express myself, because it was just like, you know, given the subject matter and what I went through or whatever, it was like that's a lot on top of, me still trying to, be a dad, a father, a husband,
Handle
run a
everything at
yeah,
once.
handle business and stuff, whatever. And so I kind of just had a moment where I'm like, okay, either I figure out and do something, or I'm just gonna drown in all this or whatever. And so thus I created Dad Needs to Talk. I kind of started out, just just recording audio only on my phone. Did that for maybe like a good month or so before I actually invested in getting an actual laptop and stuff, whatever. Uh, and kind of like took it a little bit more professionally, in a sense. But yeah, but that's kind of where I started. And not long after I started podcasting or whatever, that's also when I started my manga collection. So all of this behind me happened in the last year and a half.
What? Okay. You could not. You couldn't have told me that. Like literally, I would have thought. Like every time you post, I'm just like, man, he must have been into this manga collecting like since grade school. I don't know.
Nope.
You have
I
so many of them to talk about. Like how do you sort through them? Like what is it that stands out? Like, and shoot, what's the collection behind you? Like,
Yeah, so with a little bit of background on me with manga in general. So I have been reading manga since probably since like the tail end of high school for me. So which that's maybe 12 or so years ago because I graduated high school in 2008. So just to give you a timeline, so I've been reading manga since like maybe 2007 or so, whatever.
okay.
Which hey, shout out to Naruto because
Hey.
Naruto is kind of what started my trajectory and exposure to subtitled anime and then manga because I've like I said I've been watching anime and stuff whatever since I was a kid, back in the 90s. But it wasn't until like when I was watching Naruto as a teen and stuff whatever that eventually it got to a point where I'm like, I'm tired of watching every week. I need more. And
Same.
so, got onto the computer at school because I had no computer at home. So I got onto the computer at school or whatever, and I'm searching Naruto, and I'll find out like, okay, I think it might be probably the Wikipedia page, and I see where they had like the dates and stuff. So I'm like, okay, this is what's going on in English, and then I see like hundreds more episodes going on in Japan.
That's
So
how it
I'm
be.
so I'm like, how do I get access to that? And for all you youngsters who are spoiled with all the Crunchy Rolls and the Netflixes and all this stuff now, we didn't have that.
No.
Like back at this time, Netflix wasn't a thing, Crunchyroll didn't exist,
Isn't that crazy?
Funimation existed in some sort, but nowhere near what it got to currently, whatever. So had to go through YouTube back when we had to watch part one of
Yep.
like five of an
Yep.
episode because once again for you youngsters, YouTube used to have a limit on videos or whatever back in the day. Well, kind of sort of to some extent or whatever. And so people had to chop up episodes. So it'd be like 1 20-minute episode might be split up into like 4 or 5 pieces. So,
Mhm.
but anywho, that's what got me started on subtitle anime. So watch that. That got me going for many months, whatever. Then eventually I hit another wall and I'm like, dang it, I'm caught up with the anime.
Oh yeah.
There's gotta be more. Then I'm like, wait, manga.
Yep.
And
That transition happens.
and that's what kind of started my manga reading journey. And I've been reading various series of stuff over the years, online. And of course, shout out to the Shonen Jump app over the last few years.
Yes. $1.99 a month.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, oops. Let me see if I can get this down without knocking over all my stuff.
The
So
collection is deep.
the two, just grab them off my shelf. So the two manga that I first purchased last year was 20th Century Boys
Hmm.
and Vinland Saga.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the reasoning behind why these two specifically, so Vinland Saga, I had already watched the anime, loved it, and I of course have heard nothing but great things about the manga and stuff, whatever. So I picked up the manga from where the anime ended, which is book 5 for those who might be curious. Though granted, season 2 is about to come out and cover this through probably book 8 or whatever. But anywho, um, and the reason why I got 20th Century Boys. So I have a pretty interesting background with this series because there's another. So first of all, 20th Century Boys, it is kind of like a sci-fi psychological thriller
Ooh.
series. Uh,
Say this.
so you know what? Just to let the people know, whatever. The basic synopsis of this or whatever is I'll read off the back of the book. Humanity, having faced extinction at the end of the 20th century, would not have entered the new millennium if it weren't for them. In 1969, during their youth, they created a symbol. In 1997, as the coming disaster slowly starts to unfold, that symbol returns. This is the story of a group of boys who tried to save the world.
Wow.
So, this story takes place like I just read the synopsis with a group of friends across many decades. Because back when they were kids, as kids, you playing around making up stories or whatever, and
Mhm.
they're kind of playing this kind of like hero villain thing or whatever. Like, hey, if we were heroes, we would save the world. Well, a good hero needs a villain. So they wrote up this story or whatever of like, hey, if we would have a good villain, what would they do? And so they made this whole little storyline or whatever, as kids or whatever. Well, all these years later, when all these people are like in their 30s, maybe knocking on 40s or whatever, all of a sudden, real world events started happening
Mm.
that mirrored the story that they came up with as kids. And
Dang, that's
so,
crazy.
yes. And so they started kind of talking to like, hey, doesn't this sound like that thing we did as kids? And that's kind of where the story unfolds.
Mm.
And this series, so the author of this is Naoki Urasawa. The only He has another series that some of y'all may know called Monster, which is another psychological thriller series. It is the only series of his that got an anime, which Monster, which a lot of his series or whatever kind of have a pretty slow burn as far as like the story or whatever.
Mhm.
But if you are a fan of psychological thrillers,
Yes.
lots of mystery and stuff, whatever, his series and stuff are worth checking out. But back to why I ended up picking up this. So I had tried a couple times over the years to read 20th Century Boys. I would always get like partway through chapter one, and for some reason, it just was not catching my attention. I was like, can't do it. We'll put it away, whatever. I was trying to read it online. And so, with me doing the podcast, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy it physically because now I've invested in this.
Yep.
It is now physically occupying my space. I need to give it a honest chance. And
Mhm.
I did and fell in love with it and bought the whole series. And I, due to life events and other stuff, whatever happening, whatever, it took me a year to read through it all or whatever, but I finally finished it a few months ago, whatever. Freaking
That's your journey.
awesome.
That's your
Yes.
journey.
These two is what started my collection. Now, of course, I had to set some boundaries because
Because I was like,
because
I wouldn't even know how.
yes, so one of the boundaries I set is pretty much any series for the most part, with a couple exceptions, but any long running series that I've already been reading for years. So we're talking about your One Pieces, Jujutsu Kaisen, My Hero Academia, those series that are already hundreds of chapters long or whatever. No.
Virtual.
Um, yes, because for one, that would be a huge investment, and two, for me, I'm like, in a way, that would be a waste of money and space for me, because
Mm.
it's like I've already read this, and I don't too often. I'm not too much of a person that will go back and like revisit stuff too often. So that'd be kind of like another. It's like, okay, I would have it just so it looks pretty on the shelf behind me. No.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like one big boundary I had to set for myself to kind of help keep things somewhat contained.
I feel
Um,
that.
but I will admit, things have gotten out of hand a little bit over the last year. There have been some purchases to where I'm just like, oh, that looks cool. I'm just gonna buy it or whatever with
Yep.
little to no regard. And there's some stuff that I've bought in a year ago, or whatever, that I still ain't even touched. It's just sitting on the shelf or whatever. And so, of course, in the last this year for sure, in like the last like 6 months, I've like hit the brakes on it or whatever, and I have like super limited what I've been buying, just because while it is cool being a content creator within this community and stuff, whatever, sometimes when you get involved with like the manga tuber, the manga Instagram side of the community or whatever, it is very easy. You get caught up in the mix very quickly because you see everybody posting their videos like, "Hey, look what I just got! Look at this! This looks cool!" And you're seeing multiple people picking up the same thing. It's like, man, that's the hot new thing. Everybody else has it. I need to get it too. And then before you know it,
It gets out of control. I don't.
it gets out of control. So
I think I can count on my hand how many physical books I have. Like I have one that my mom gave me from Naruto, and it just happened to be. I don't know how she did this, but it just happened to be where Naruto met his parents for the first time. I
mm,
cried when I finished reading it. I was like, "Mama, you know." It's like you know, but you don't know
yeah,
how
yeah,
much it means.
yes,
And
yes,
so I have that. I have the second volume of One Piece. That's kind of random. I can't even remember that story, but
yeah,
and then I have the first book for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure because Phantom Blood, the very first section series, that will
yeah,
always be my favorite. Like people be disrespecting it, they
yeah,
disrespecting. I'm just like y'all better. People don't even know about George. Like that's the father. He got it
yeah,
all started. Like come on,
yeah,
like I know we got Joseph. I ain't gonna talk about Joseph Rose because disrespectful. But anyway, but do you
yes,
have like a favorite like author, like or mangaka? Am I saying that right? Or a favorite
yeah,
genre before we get over to the reviews?
yeah. So I will say for sure. Oops, sorry.
No,
For sure. This author is definitely one of my favorites because, like I said, between uh watching Monster and then having read this, whatever, hey,
that's it.
you got me. I'm a fan for life. I am looking forward to eventually going through many of his other series and stuff as well because he's done a lot of series and I've heard nothing but pretty much great things about all of them. So that's definitely one of them. uh I'm trying to think. As far as genre, I am very big on kind of like the typical kind of like action shonen type of series, whatever. But I have, especially like over this last year and stuff, since I've been expanding my horizons on what stuff I've been reading and exposed to, whatever. I definitely am definitely gotten more into like the seinen type of story. So like stuff that's a little bit more adult and not necessarily like adult as in like adult content type of stuff for it, but just more like mature stories and stuff. So stuff like Vinland Saga, like Kingdom,
Mm.
uh Berserk, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like it might
Um
be a little too gory or too much cussing for kids, but it's like this
yeah,
is right for me.
exactly. But w- along with me getting into the physical side of collecting or whatever, the beauty of it has just been the amount of stuff I've gotten introduced to because I can't tell you how many series that I would have never even known about if it wasn't for the fact of me going to the store. I'm just, taking my time, browsing the shelves or whatever, and I see something that catches my eye either because of the cover or the title or whatever. And I'm like, this seems interesting. And, I'll pick it up and, give it a chance or whatever. Because that has ever been one thing that I've been pretty big on with my channel and with a lot of my manga stuff, whatever, is while yes, I love talking about my One Pieces and my Hero and well-known titles and stuff, whatever, I enjoy finding those hidden gems or those unknown things that people have never even heard of, and kind of bringing that to people's attention or whatever, because it's kind of wild of like I have probably like a handful of series that I've covered that like not many people on YouTube have talked about or whatever, which is weird to say considering how many people have YouTube channels, how many people do manga content or whatever, for the fact that like, hey, certain series you can search for the name and I'm one of only a few people that pop up or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Is super dope. But but yeah, but that's kind of like so in a nutshell, like how things have been for me with manga collecting, trying to set boundaries and
It's
you
impossible.
know yeah, and some of my favorites and stuff that I've got a chance to get into and to read and check out.
Man, I definitely feel you on that because, like, on one side, I do understand, like, people want to pull in an audience with, the big name titles and stuff like that. But it's also really important to kind of like feel like, you're tapping back into the roots of like what got you started into
Yeah,
anime. Like you're going on your own personal journey of
yeah,
being a blur. I that kind of was an unintentional plug for the
yeah.
Blerdom documentary. But
Which real quick,
you about to give us some more suggestions?
just a couple that I know a lot of people probably have never even heard of or not on radars or whatever, but just some of my recent favorite reads that I've gotten into whatever. Blue Period.
Mm.
I freaking love the anime. It is basically about a young character's journey into becoming an artist. Um, I feel like if anybody watching, listening, whatever, if you have done anything artistic, whether it is actually doing art, podcasting, content creation, whatever, this is a series that will speak to you in so many ways. But Blue Period fell in love with it. Magus of the Library. This is probably one of the most dense reads that I've read in a long time. But if you love a series with beautiful art, you love character depth, you love world building, this has it all. Because it basically follows a character who is basically he's on a journey to more or less become a central figure at what's known as kind of like the central library of the it's a location called the Central Library, basically, whatever. And he's gone to basically become a big figure within that or whatever. Not the best description or whatever, but like, I'm trying to keep this brief and quick, whatever. But
Oh no,
Magus of the
you're good.
Library,
We're just calling it. You're not giving spoilers.
yeah,
I was like, I just, it's not that like a, I don't have anything after this. I did want to like put it out there that we will go over because I definitely want to give Sakamoto some time. I just wanted to
yes.
be mindful of you as well.
Oh, I am free. Like I said, everybody's gone. So I am free. I am all yours. So yeah,
Okay.
we are definitely good on time. Um last couple, uh Witch Hat Atelier.
Which
Um
hat?
yeah, Witch Hat Atelier.
I don't know.
Atelier. Um this one actually, like I said, Blue Period already has the anime out or whatever. It's 12 episodes long on Netflix. Which had just got an anime announced a few months ago. So some point in the next year or so, whatever, an anime will be coming for this. But this is also a series that has some of the freaking most beautiful art I have ever seen. It follows this young girl named Coco. Basically, in this world, the art of being a witch and witchcraft is basically super secret. Nobody knows how the actual witches and magicians actually do it. Well, one day, kids being kids, she sneaks around, witnesses a witch doing a spell, playing around. She's trying to do it herself. Of course, it goes wrong. It ends
Mm-hmm.
up causing harm to somebody very close to her. And so she ends up going on a journey to become an apprentice and to become a witch herself, to learn the secrets of witchcraft and then how to possibly save and help reverse the trouble that she did. But
Wow.
like I said, this was it's been a very good read.
Yeah, that sounds like a good one.
And then this last one that I'm gonna shout out for now, is called Lost Lad London.
Boss Lad London.
Yes. So this is one of the newer ones that I've read in the last couple months, whatever. The basic description of this is that this one is surrounds a murder mystery. It is about this college student named Al. He ends up getting roped into uh this mystery because the mayor of the city is found dead on the subway train, and so there ends up being a connection between him and where he might have been or whatever at the time of the murder, and he ends up working with this um detective Ellis, and they end up working together to try to figure out what is their connection with the mayor, and to kind of help solve the murder. So
Sounds like a good
that's
video game too.
could be. But yeah, like I said, that's something like I said that I know for sure many people probably have never even heard of.
Yeah, I haven't
Uh,
heard of any of them, but
but like I
I
said,
definitely put that out there for it looks like it's on YouTube, but I'll make sure it's on the Facebook page as
yeah,
well.
but uh, but yeah. So like I said, that is kind of like my forte is finding those little gems and talking about them, and stuff. So if most of the time, if for the most part, I would say 90% of the time, if I have done a individual review of something, then it was at least worth my time to do so.
Mm.
Otherwise, I might just mention it in passing on my actual somewhere within an actual full podcast episode or whatever. So, but yeah, so
I was like, we appreciate it. I wanted to let you know, because I'm gonna grab my charger real
yeah,
quick. But
yeah.
looks like your cousin Ebony Thurman said, "Hey, cousin."
Oh, what is up, Ebony? I was on the page and I had the stream pulled up. Let me see.
Yeah, Facebook is a little tricky when it comes to the comments. I guess because it's a private group. I don't know about YouTube, but I think
Yeah,
Facebook comments don't show it. So I have Facebook pulled up to the side so I can see people's
yeah.
names, give them their proper shout outs and all that stuff. Oh my goodness, how many batteries do I have? Okay.
Let me see. Well, it's not showing for me, but what's up, Ebony? I can't see a comment currently, but thank you for dropping in. Love you.
Yes, thank you for dropping in. Please share this, keep commenting, and you are just in time for us to do a manga review.
Yes, yes, yes.
As soon as I plug my computer in.
Oops, did not mean to do that.
That's definitely a first time, not first time. It's probably like my learner's phase. I always
Yeah.
keep something plugged in.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so you suggested to me also another one that I haven't heard of, another manga I haven't heard of. I'm just like, man, I need to get deeper into my Blerdom. But you suggested Sakamoto Days. And
Yes, yes,
yes, that is the
yes,
cover. That's the first volume. And
yes.
it was really good. Like just to give everybody like a understanding, like I literally, like we were talking about this earlier, I literally finished this 10 minutes before we started this interview. Like we've had this plan for weeks, okay? And I'm just like, oh, it's a couple volumes, cool, not having any type of understanding of like what is involved in volumes. I look back at it and I see that it says 80 chapters. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna change a schedule. I'm not gonna change nothing on the calendar because I did not prepare like that. So I'm just gonna get it done. So I
Yeah.
started Monday, And guess what? I finished that thing 10 minutes before this.
Yeah, it came in clutch under the wire, but you made it.
Yes, I made it. That was perfect timing. And so essentially, it's really crazy how it you suggested this, and I think I just finished it. I think I saw the last episode. I had just finished Ways of the House Husband. I'm just like, this
Mm,
is kind of like going on the same kind of pattern. Like this
yeah.
is about an assassin who is no longer an assassin because he fell in love and started a family. He was like,
Hmm.
this is what it's all about. I'm protecting mine. We're gonna make
Yeah.
a promise not to hurt anybody anymore. And he living a good, peaceful life. I'm sure. Well,
Yep.
I don't know these days, but I know that's what I'm hoping for. A nice, good,
Yes.
peaceful family life. I don't know about the assassin part, but at least he protecting his, right?
Yes. 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 He definitely does that. He definitely does that.
Yes. So it's really there's so many different aspects that build on top of one another. It's almost hard for me to tell. Like I don't know who's bad. Like it's a criminal here, but then these are assassins. But then these are elite assassins. But then there are like people undercover trying to take the man down. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god, like what is
Yes.
going on?
Yeah. One aspect that I loved about, like you said, with Sakamoto Days is that, like you said, former top tier assassin got married. They have a cute little daughter, and he runs a convenience store as well. His family runs a convenience store, and so like you said, they just doing their thing or whatever until people from his past trying to come and get him or whatever. One thing I love about the series is that it has a awesome mix of the dope action scenes and stuff, whatever, while also having the funny and wholesome
Yes.
character and family moments and stuff. Because one kind of like reoccurring thing that I love about with the series is that we might meet a character who might be a adversary or an antagonist or whatever for a little while, but 9 times out of 10, once Sakamoto put them in their place, then they become friends and stuff, whatever. I love all the times to where it's like Sakamoto will beat your butt, but then he'll give you a job and they'll be working at the convenience store next chapter or whatever. And it's like I just love it. It's like y'all were just fighting to the death a few chapters ago, and now he's like, hey, help this customer, or hey, we need to, we need to restock the eggs in the dairy section.
Yes. I really can't say which part I loved more.
Hmm.
The first half of it, I would say, felt the most intense.
Hmm.
And then it started going into these different sections. Like, okay, now that we're over like this portion, we're gonna go to like um you're going through different levels of a secret lab in a museum, and you got to fight off all these. I was like, dang, this would be an awesome video game. I just know a video game
Yeah.
has to be coming
Yes.
to like, come on, like it's like one guy gets sliced up. Oh, speaking of slice, those four villains, those four serial killers. I'm just like,
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm most afraid of the guy that like scrunches everything down into a ball. I forgot his
Yeah.
name, but I was like, oh my freaking goodness! Like, no, you're not. No, I don't want to. Out of all the things, like there are four different things. There was the woman who pierced people with holes, the guy who sliced and chopped people up.
Yeah.
There was one where like somebody got skinned alive
Yeah.
and then crunching somebody up into a ball. And I was like, if I had to choose, I might just ask you to just chop me up. Because everything else I feel like I would feel. But if I get chopped up instantly, like, okay, it's over. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Which one would you choose?
I don't even know. Maybe the chopped up one as well, because it's like hey, maybe it happened so fast I'll just never even know it happened. uh and stuff. So that might be the route to go for me.
Yeah, I'm just like, all these other ones, I don't want to feel the fear. Just go ahead and get it out the way.
Yeah. I for me, I don't know. And we were talking about this a little bit beforehand before we started recording. For me, it's kind of tough for me to kind of like recall some of like the earlier stuff because I've been following it weekly almost however many couple of years that it's been going.
Yeah, I think
So
early last year.
yeah, so some stuff, whatever, it's kind of been lost, but I have enjoyed how like these last like couple of story arcs, whatever, it's been kind of like building up towards more bigger threats and stuff. We're getting, especially like the stuff that's kind of going on currently in the story. We're getting even more background and story on Sakamoto and his crew and stuff that he had back in the day and stuff, whatever. Cause right before the arc that we were in now, I loved it when freaking Sakamoto and kind of like his like right current right hand man Shin,
Mm-hmm.
where they were kind of like trying to infiltrate and get into this like assassin school, and so they going through all these tests and stuff, whatever. I loved,
That was so scary.
yeah, that whole testing sequence in general was wild, but I really loved when they were on the airplane. And then all of a sudden it was just like, hey, okay, we're flying to the next portion of the test. Oh, guess what? You're on the plane and this is now part of the exam. And
Exactly. I was
so
not expecting that. I'm thinking I'm
yes,
gonna fly to wherever the facility is to take the exam. I was like, you're not having me fight in the air. No,
yes,
no.
yes.
Oh no.
That is one thing. Is like Sakamoto stuff can pop off at any moment, no matter where you are. It can go down. So you always got to be ready. Now, speaking of like some of like the wholesome and family moment stuff, whatever, I always enjoy whenever, he still has his assassin mentality, but seeing him use that for like normal family stuff, like there was a chapter where his daughter was wanting this like exclusive like lunchbox or something or
Yes.
whatever for
Um,
school.
it was like one of the backpacks.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And seeing Sakamoto fighting all these, duking it out with all these like random civilians, these old grannies, like, no, I'm gonna get this for my grandbaby. That stuff was like so dope. It's just like it's like y'all are going for a backpack. Why is it so serious? But I love it though. And
it's
same
so.
thing with the chapter when he was trying to figure out what to do for his wedding anniversary.
I was just.
And actually no, they were going, I think they were going on dinner for their anniversary, and these assassins were trying to attack him or whatever. And so he is doing stuff so quick to where his wife doesn't notice, or he'll be like, oh, hey, can you pass me the salt or whatever, to get her to look away for just a brief moment, and he'll bam 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 take out somebody
Yes.
while she not looking. Because one big thing with his wife though is that there is a family rule that
Yes.
he is not allowed to kill. And so a lot of this assassin stuff, whatever he is doing non-lethally, sometimes barely, but still non-lethal. Like I have seen people mention Sakamoto as kind of like John Wick. And
Oh, that's
there
a
was a
good comparison.
chapter a while back where he went on with somebody with the pencil, like John Wick did in that one movie. Man. But yeah, but overall, it's just like I just love this series because, for one, we are seeing an adult character, so I like, I love all my normal, shonen typical series or whatever, but most of them, it's like they're kids, they're teenagers, whatever. And so it has been very nice and refreshing that stuff like Sakamoto Days and even some other stuff like Spy Family and Undead Unluck and Kaiju number 8, all these newer series or whatever, all have characters who are adults and
Mhm.
stuff, whatever. And so, and of course, Sakamoto, I think he's in his late 20s. Because they
Oh,
just
he
revealed that
is. I keep wanting
recently.
to say he in his 40s so bad. I forget. He's like
That
28.
Yes, that is what we all thought of until like I said, that was very recently that they just revealed during one of the chapters, whatever, like how old he actually was. And everybody
Mhm.
was like, wait, he's in his late 20s.
Like, I'm 28. That don't make sense.
Yeah.
He's 40. Like, come on. Like, what
But
kind of 28 is this?
but shout out to Sakamoto. He always rocking the slides, the apron, got the dad bod going on. But he's still out here handling his business and stuff. So, but yeah, it has been such a fun read. I super hope, fingers crossed, that we get a anime someday.
Please, it's so good. If
Cause
you animate um Ways of the House Husband, you may as well keep going with the type of
yes,
theme it is. Cause like, and then just like the way the story like unfolds in so many ways that I didn't even think about. I was like, this is a person with skill. Like I had
yeah,
to look up this character myself because he became my favorite, and there's still so much mystery behind him. He's a part of the order. His name
hmm,
is Takamura, like the super old man whose eyes are like
yes,
never open, and he's
yes,
slicing. I was just like,
yes.
I gotta know his story, please. Like, where is it? Where is it?
One thing I would say, shout out to, where did my volume go? Let me get this man's name.
Yes.
Yuto Suzuki, the creator of Sakamoto Days. He has been putting in work because over time, I feel like especially this last 6 months to year, his art, the detail in his art has gone freaking crazy. Now, I'm up and flipping through the early parts, whatever, and Sakamoto has always looked good, but I feel like it's like you just said, especially when this old dude got introduced a while back. Something about the detail whenever we get just like those panels of because one that kind of sticks out in my mind is one where it's just a panel of him just like getting ready to like walk into the door, and it's just like a profile of just his face.
Yes.
The detail on that panel, and like you said, him slicing every time this old man shows up, something
Mm,
about to get diced up. And I know that at some point while he is in the story, I'm gonna turn the page and there's gonna be a super dope double page spread of him
yes.
slicing stuff in half. And sometimes it looks so clean that you have to stare at the picture for a while to realize, like, yo, this dude just sliced a whole building in half.
Oh,
Or
building.
he sliced this 'cause I think there was one where he did like a freaking taxi cab, or it was
Yeah, it was
he'd
like
be doing some
a bus
wild stuff.
and a tower. I was like,
Yes, yes,
OP.
yes, yes.
He's my favorite, hands down. Like, I mean, now it's hard to say that because I love Sakamoto.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Maybe it's
There is
because of the mystery. I think, I don't know, and that's what's keeping me reeled into Takamura more.
so there is one. Hold on, I think it might have been last chapter. Yes, last chapter. Let me get another kind of like he's not as old as the guy that you mentioned, but he's still one of those OGs from back in Sakamoto's days. Uh Sakamoto's Days.
I feel you. Hey, look, it just rolled off the tongue. They named it like that for a reason.
So this guy, he was in last chapter, chapter 79. Well, he's been kind of popping on but we finally got his name. Um, actually, hold on, wait. Is this
It
the
starts with a
same?
Y, doesn't it? I think.
Okay, yeah. Yosemir. I had to make sure it wasn't the same guy. This dude is cold as ice, just like the
Boy,
old man. So, and I gotta share this. So my even though we've been loosely slightly spoiling stuff, whatever, but mild spoilers for what happened. So we get this scene where these guys are trying to some youngsters trying to run off at the mouth to this OG and stuff, whatever. And he's telling these youngsters, he's like, hey, as an assassin, we have to be invisible with our intent to kill.
mm,
You turn the page. So I don't know what the weapon is called. I don't know if it's called like a bow staff or it's like the 3-section like staff or whatever with like a blade at the end or whatever.
oh yeah, I don't know what that's called. I
Yeah,
just remember seeing it in Bleach a
yeah.
long time ago.
Oh yeah. Shoot, what's his name?
The,
I
the
think
bald guy had it.
yeah, Ikaku. He had a weapon kind of like that or whatever. But you just turn the page. He swings it. He swings it fully around him. So there are the 3 guys that was in front of him, and there was 2 guys hiding on a wall on the other side behind him.
Fighting.
He smooth slices them all in half. And he does it so fast, they don't even realize what happened. Everybody is still posted up with their guns or whatever, and you just see just their
Yeah.
midsection of their body just gone. And I'm like, this dude is a freaking monster.
Man, when I tell you, I was on my phone like
Yeah.
zooming because like when the page where they showed the guys in hiding, I was like, it took me a while to process that. I was like, huh?
Yes.
People knew they were right. What from this angle? Oh, that was.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! And then the woman, she was like, "I meant to do that to you too." She was like, "I wanted a red kimono, all the blood splatter." I'm just like, both of y'all are
Yes.
bad mofos, bad mama gems. Okay.
Yes. And stuff like that. Stuff like that is why I know someday that this will get an anime just because of the recent trend of series that kind of started around the same time. So, we got Spy Family earlier this year. Shoot. Mashle of Magic and Muscle, that got announced for anime as well coming next
Oh
year.
yeah, I remember seeing it like a few months ago, and I was like, the cover looks amazing. I need to add this to my favorites.
So, Mashle, basically think of it as like a soccer Saitama for One Punch Man in Harry Potter world.
Okay, because I was thinking like Asta from Black Clover. I was like,
A little bit of that as well, because he has no magic ability or whatever, but he is just all just muscle
games.
and working it. Yes, he all about the gains and
Yes.
stuff. So, but that one got anime announced recently or whatever, and
What?
Mashle, that got announced the anime that's coming out next year.
Oh.
And kind of going along like the Yakuza stuff, whatever, like you said, like with the Way of the House Husband. Another one that I had heard good stuff about the manga that just got an anime as well. It's a show called Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting.
Ooh, it's like
That
the best of both worlds. It's like
yes,
bringing in the girly stuff and it's bringing
yeah,
in like the super actiony stuff. It's like
yes.
I love this. I love this.
So with all these different series, whatever, getting anime or whatever announced, it's like it's just a matter of time before we get Sakamoto Days announced in the mix,
Mm-hmm.
because this series, like I said, like this Arthur, he does so freaking, like when action stuff is popping off, stuff is popping off, stuff looks dope. Because like a
Yes.
couple chapters ago, when it was like the whole scene when they were like fighting in the cars and stuff, whatever,
Oh
and
yeah. Oh yeah.
that looked freaking ridiculous. That
I
looks
was
so freaking
like,
ridiculous.
I know I'm just reading, but somehow I'm out of breath. Like I don't know.
Yes, yes. He does such a good job of like the way like he draws the motion of the action. It feels like you're actually watching it play out or whatever. It's like whether it be like, characters running around, sliding, dodging, slicing up stuff, punching, whatever. And of course, I gotta touch on something you mentioned a while ago with the bad mama jammas, Sakamoto Days has dope characters, both men and women.
Yes.
Like it don't matter who they are, what gender they are, you can get it.
That
All the characters are deadly.
he knows
Uh
exactly what he's doing. I can't wait because I think the next chapter is come, or I don't know if it's the next volume or next chapter, but it's coming out I think within the next week.
yep. Sunday, every Sunday, new chapter come out.
Okay, cool. So now
Yep.
it feels good to be caught up on something. I rarely do that. So
Yes. Yes.
thank you.
And shout out to, like I said, speaking of like women characters real quick. Uh so it's a character that got introduced in the last arc. Her name is Akira Akao. She's the young lady.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Who
was like, let me learn how to sew.
yeah, she is super dope, and I love whenever we get introduced to characters who have a secret connection to somebody else, because we found out that because when she tells Sakamoto where her family name was, that is the same. She is basically the daughter of one of his former partners on like his old crew back in the day or whatever. And so
Mhm.
because when they show like a flashback of her, it is like, oh yeah, mother daughter, and which seeing how dope the daughter is, I can't wait till we meet the mama at
Right. I
some
was
point.
like, it looked like she was a good shot at least. I was like, damn, okay. She
Yeah,
know her guns. I don't know nothing
yeah,
about that. I need to go to the range, but
yes,
Lord, I love those because like I didn't even think about it even when it was first stated, like, oh, back in y'all's day, the only people I heard of was Sakamoto. I forgot the other guy's name and Akao, and I was like, I don't know who that is. Maybe I forgot it. And
I
then it
think
got mentioned in the future, and I was
yeah.
like, oh, because I don't know if it was like a no, it wasn't one of the villains. It was someone who went through the academy and had
Hmm.
heard of some of the legendary like graduates and stuff like that. And I was like,
Yes,
okay, we just hadn't been introduced to Akao yet
yes,
until later. I
yes,
feel you.
yeah,
How you be thinking ahead like that? That's why I'm just like,
yes,
this ain't no ordinary mind.
yes, yes.
Man.
But yeah, I love, like I said, I love character introductions and stuff like that. Because there's this one kind of that introduction, like I said, of the daughter, or whatever. And I'm not gonna say who or what it was, but we got a similar reveal recently in the most recent chapter of Spy Family, to where I love, and I mentioned this in a post and stuff I did yesterday, or whatever. But it's like I love when we get a whole chapter or a whole episode with seemingly a random character or whatever. And then I love whenever it's that moment of like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't introduce myself. My name is such and such. And it's like, that is so and so's,
Yes.
relative, or that is some character that we've only heard of in passing in the series. I love that, especially when it is
With
done right. So
tastefully.
yes,
I
yes,
love it. They're such good storytellers.
yes.
And look, I appreciate you for putting me on to Sakamoto Days, for putting me on and everybody on to well, I don't know if you can see the comments on the side, but to all the other manga that you've been reading and anime that
Yes.
you've been watching. It's truly been a pleasure.
Oh yeah.
I appreciate the time and the extra time. Like
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
that
Anytime, because when you reached out, about us collabing and stuff, I was like, oh yeah, of course, because like you mentioned earlier, like when we first connected on Instagram a while back, you know, you like out the gate was showing me love because you were like one of like the first people that have ever like gave me like a dedicated person like, hey, check out this dude, he is awesome. And I am like, who is this blurred son, babe? What is going on? You know, but I've always appreciated, like I said, your support, you showing me love and stuff from day one,
Yeah.
and we just been keeping up with each other ever since. And I am super happy that we got a chance, that things worked out in a way schedule wise or whatever, that we actually got to meet in person before
Yay!
we did this and stuff whatever, because it just makes that bond, that connection, that much more special and stuff.
It really does. I'm just like, yeah, I got a picture I can post on the
Yes,
discussion board. Yes.
yes.
That was sauce. That was really perfect timing. So I'm glad. I don't even know if I remembered that you lived in Texas at the time, but I'm so glad that you were able to get a ticket so we can meet. And
Yes.
I definitely want to say, like, we would love to have you on again.
Oh yeah.
And it might either be myself or it could be the creator of Blurred Over, Skip.88.
Hmm.
He's definitely the interviewer. He's a serious interviewer when it comes to Instagram. And so
Yeah.
you might get, you'll definitely get like the comedian side of things from him, and he plays like literally plays like games and stuff on there too. So that'll be a joy for us to do in the future as well.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I am definitely down. Anytime you need me, just hit me up, and we will make it happen.
Yes, yes, yes. I appreciate it again. And thank you everybody who came in, who commented. We can't wait to see you all at future conventions. Please, please, please tune in and follow Dad Needs to Talk podcast on Instagram, on Facebook, all the platforms that he posts about.
Yep.
I need you to follow him.
Yes. You YouTube and on all your podcast streaming services. I am everywhere. Um, I should be just about everywhere. If you are on a platform and you do not find me, let me know so I can get on that platform.
There you
But
go, the hustle.
but thank you again for having me on. And just to say this final piece, once again, like I said, I am Robert, aka Father of Ash, aka Dad Needs to Talk. Uh, if you are looking for any conversations or content surrounding fatherhood and family, manga, anime, and sometimes video game stuff, then check me out because as my name suggests, I talk a lot. So and I feel like I have done. It's wild sometimes when I look back at how much I've done. I have done an insane amount of stuff, considering that it has only been a year. I've done a lot, but I have so much more in the plans and stuff. So, but yeah, but thank y'all again for having me on, and I look forward to us doing so much more stuff in the future.
Yes, y'all take that as motivation. Just make sure you get started on what you love, and hey, that time's gonna pass by anyway. And
Yes,
before you know it, it'll be a year and a half, 2 years, 5 years, and you'll
yes,
have so many titles behind your name, just like Dad Needs to Talk podcast. So,
yes.
with that being said, I can't wait until next time for everyone. Can't wait to see y'all at future conventions. Blurred Over will definitely be at Urban Nerd Con in Montgomery. That's the first
Mm,
one they are having. And
nice.
we will be showing up. Come find us at Dragon Con. That's most of our first time. So just whew, try not to be overwhelmed about that. And just one more additional thing from Blared Over, be sure to go back and look at the documentary that recently came out not too
Mhm.
long ago. You get to hear the backstory and the journey and everything that it took from Skip.88 to start this in 2019 and how it flourished to what it is now, and the platform that I'm appreciative to have. So that being said, y'all enjoy your night. If you didn't eat like I did, eat something.
Yeah. Yes,
And
yes,
we'll
yes.
see you next time on the next live. Peace.